Hi family, I hope that you guys are all doing well this week. I have some more serious messages coming up soon, but next week I asked God if I can put out some more encouraging, lighthearted words because I have been feeling the same heaviness in the spirit that many of you have been experiencing. July is supposed to be joyous for us because we are crossing over. But God brought me a word from the book of Matthew to clarify some of the emotions that we've been feeling. Just because you are worried, afraid, or even scared of the directions that God has given you, worried things aren't going to work out. That doesn't mean the directions were wrong. Matthew 26:38, Jesus said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Even Jesus was sorrowful to the point of death, seeking God to see if this cup could be taken from him, if God's mind had changed about his destiny, about his crucifixion. Just like many of you may feel uncertain about the directions God has given you, questioning if you heard God correctly. Jesus was saying this right before Judas brought a crowd to arrest him. Jesus knew that this was the chain of events that would lead to his crucifixion, but also his resurrection, what we might consider his breakthrough. Even though he knew that God promised him that he would be more than okay in the end, Jesus was afraid just like you, just like many of us. And some might even say depressed about the situation. He was anxious. He was up all night. He was praying. He was pacing back and forth, trying to see if anyone was watching out for him while he prayed. I say depressed because the text says sorrowful to the point of death. All while his disciples had fallen asleep. They were supposed to be watching out for the crowd that Judas was bringing. Yet they fell asleep knowing what a critical situation that Jesus was in. You might also be nervous about what God has been telling you to do, has told you to do. The first step on that path to God's promise might look like the end of everything that you have been working for, trying to hold together. The end of a job, the end of friendships, the end of familial connections, the end of a relationship, the end of living somewhere, the end of certain habits, the end of your very own independence, and so on. In one of Jesus's darkest moments, all of his disciples fled and abandoned him. So do not be alarmed if people have been abandoning you, turning their back on you during your toughest times of walking the narrow path towards God. It is written that way. Even Jesus knew that his prophecy would be fulfilled. To the very end, he was still nervous. He was still anxious. He was still depressed. God may have prophesied even to you that certain people around you are not going to believe in you or support you in whatever way that you expect. This is your warning to let them go now, even if it's painful, because prolonging it will extend that betrayal and cause even more painful situations along the way. Obedience is for your benefit. Trust me, I drug my feet trying to let go of certain people, and it definitely hurt me more times than I can count until I finally released them. But God has promised you that even though you're scared right now, this is only the beginning. The first step is scary. Jesus was afraid too. Jesus is wondering if God has changed his mind, if he had heard God right. He was inquiring on his behalf, but he knew deep down inside, just like you know deep down inside, what you've been told. Your sorrow is not a sign that you are off track. Your sorrow and anxiety is in alignment with exactly how Jesus felt right before his resurrection, his breakthrough. And on the other side of your breakthrough, God also plans to prosper you. God does not lie, so his word must be fulfilled on earth. That is his way. So do not worry. You've got this. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, I really appreciate you. If any part of this message resonated with you, please subscribe to my community so that you can get more videos like this recommended to you. And I hope to see you again soon.